Okay. I'm evolving with my Zoom. So Kelsey's just my test. She's doing test run for me today, and I'm recording to see how it goes. Elizabeth Tomlin will probably come in. I don't know if you guys know Elizabeth. Come in a little bit later. She drops her kids off at school and then comes over. So you can grab a blanket. And so I keep a couple extra blankets up here if you do forget to grab one, but the chest downstairs, if I haven't already opened it, which I forgot to open it this morning, has blankets and meditation cushions in there. And you can grab. How are we feeling? How's our body feeling? You can sit. Okay. That's good to know. We can do some hand, wrist stuff, neck. Okay. Well, let's do upper body. Oh, that gives me a direction to go. So, ooh, got warm quickly. Let's do up here. Yeah. Remind me to buy, there's like bottom for the loft across the street. There's carpet mats that go on the stairs. If you remember at some point, like after class, like, hey, mind to buy those. Yeah, I think that'll be nice for walking up the cold. You're basically outside when you walk up those stairs. Mm. Oh, happy birthday! I have it on my calendar. Happy birthday. What a perfect day. Snow and yoga. So let's take a comfortable seat. Ooh, I got one quick. Oh, and just drop into the feeling of this snowy morning. Oh, so using this visualization for a while, I love it. If you can think of a snow globe that you pick up and you shake, and all of that snow gets swept up and is swirling around in our atmosphere. When we come to our practice of mindfulness and meditation, imagine that you are that figurine right in the center of that snow globe, and allow yourself to find a position that feels comfortable where you can be still. And then begin to imagine all of the flakes of thoughts and energy beginning to settle, being falling down from that area of our brain where we're thinking and planning, slowly settling down all around you into the body. Mm. Feel free to take a few breaths where there's an audible exhale or a release through the mouth. And then checking in to the legs and the hips. Can you find more ease and comfort here? Sense the rib basket, the shoulders and the head. Mm. And with your next inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Pause here, extend through the pinky fingers. Feel your ribs lift. Let your shoulders lift too. Just go for that space and then exhale. Bring the palms down right through the center of the body, letting the thumbs rest at the heart center. And we'll chant 3 Oms together. Deep breath in. Bowing to the heart center. And then releasing the hands and opening the eyes. And coming to find a comfortable position on your back. So we'll work on our, good morning. You're good. We're going to work on our arms, hands, wrists, upper body today. And these are some of my favorite moves because that tends to be where I hold tension in my body. So as I just get my camera adjusted to make sure everyone has a full view of my arms as we move, get yourself comfortable so that you have a lot of space to expand through your ribs. So traditionally called the rib cage. And then, people are like, oh, it feels so like, trapped. So rib basket, like a woven basket, the shoulder blades, the collarbones, the arm bones. So feel that you can position your body so that that whole area of your body can be as relaxed as possible. They say anatomically, if the arms are at about 45 degrees, it allows the most spaciousness through the shoulder joint. So seeing if you can find that within your own body. And then dropping in here. So feeling the weight of your heels, the calcaneus bone, the weight of your calf, the tibia bone, the largest lower leg bone. The fibula kind of floats on the outside. The weight of the femur bones, biggest bones of the body. And then the weight of the pelvis. We've got 2 ilia. And they come to connect right at the very base of the spine at the sacrum. So the very base of the spine is the coccyx, kind of floats. That's our vestigial tail. And right above that is the sacrum. And it's shaped like a downward pointing triangle. So the tip of the triangle pointing down towards the coccyx. And then those upper 2 points, kind of a general area where they connect to the ilia. So imagine you can just sense the weight of the sacrum really settling into the floor. And then draw your attention up to the back of your thorax. We think of it as the body, back of the ribs. Just simply notice the points of your body that are making contact up there. So as we begin to move the upper body today, what often happens is the musculature relaxes, and sometimes we notice at the end of class that there's more surface area connection. You might even do a little comparison right to left as to which shoulder, and we think of as like really there's the shoulder is encompassing the shoulder blade. It's part of the shoulder girdle is the shoulder blade and the collarbone, makes up the shoulder girdle, which actually holds and forms the shoulder joint, which the upper arm bone, the humerus bone, connects to. So just kind of sense that whole complex there, the joint capsule of the shoulder. And then noticing any sensations that are radiating down through the arms, through the fingers, without moving quite yet. So I do a lot of body work. Sometimes I can sense just a little bit of pain in my thumb joints. I've been working with elbow tendonitis. It's almost on the way out. I can feel it. So what do you sense in your body? And what also may arise as we do these body scans are memories. Maybe you have a memory of something that occurred. And as things come up for us, we remember that there's the 3 insights of Buddhism, which always helps me, that there is anitya, there's impermanence. Dukkha, anything we're grasping for outside of this intrinsic nature will essentially and eventually cause pain. And then not taking anything personal, anatman. You can bring those even into your meditation practice as memories and thoughts and emotions arise. Say we used that snow globe analogy, like you are this witness looking in at this snow globe, just observing what is arising, what is flowing around in your consciousness. And bring our awareness up to the base of the neck and follow the curvature of the skull and feel the weight of the skull. See if you can allow the eyes to drop a little deeper into the skull. So we begin to take our awareness from proprioception or outward attention to inner awareness, interoception. So we're going to go over some basic movements of the arm bones. And so bring your hands in towards your hips and let them slide. So without lifting your arms, I'm just going to let the arms slide into the body and let the palms turn down here. As you bring the arms into the body, this is called adduction. So we're adding the arms into the body. And then begin to let the arms slide out. And as the arms slide out, simply turn the palms up. This is called abduction. So the arms come out in a T position. And then let the arms slide into the body. Let the palms turn down as you do this. And then let the palms turn up towards the ceiling as the arms slide out in a T position. Now, as the arms come down towards the body and we turn the palms down, can you sense that the arms are rotating into the body? And then pause and then see if you can twist the arms even more into the body so the shoulders will curl up off the floor. It feels pretty uncomfortable. This is internal rotation of the arms. It moves the shoulders in towards the chest. And then release. Slide the arms out and begin to turn the palms up towards the sky. This is external rotation. And keep twisting the arms. Once the arms get all the way out in a T position, feel how your chest lifts up and the shoulders rotate towards the floor more. And then release and let your arms slide back down to a neutral position in Shavasana, about 45 degrees. And so do that a couple more times, rotating the arms internally as you bring the arms into the body towards the hips, and externally rotating the arms as you sweep them out. And if it feels good, you could keep sweeping the arms up over the head. Since it's snowed out, we're going to start with our snow angels. And move in a way that there's no pain. As the arms come out in a T position, transition to a neutral arm, palms up. And if you'd like to continue as you reach the arms up overhead, the palms are going to rotate again to the floor, but that's an external rotation. So just see if you can sense or imagine the upper arm bone rotating in the shoulder socket. Now, if this is new to you, these terms, or just thinking of moving in this way, just let all that go and sweep your arms around your body like you're making the arms of a snow angel. As the arms come to a T position and eventually over the head, flex the feet and press out through the heels. So you're getting really long through the body. You could turn the hands to face each other and then soften the legs. Let the arms slide back down. Keep reaching through the hands. Pause, relax. And then energize the arms. Sweep out, stretch. The arms rotate so they eventually face each other above the head. If that's available for your shoulders, that feels comfortable and easy. And then keep reaching out through the arms, transitioning through palms up, and then eventually turning the palms down so the thumbs come towards the hips. And then turn the palms up and sweep the arms out to about 45 degrees and pause in Shavasana. Notice how that feels through the shoulders, all the way through the wrists and the hands. Mm. Mm. And then from here, bend the knees, set the feet flat, and we're going to bring the arms into the goalpost position. So feet are flat, knees bent. If this is uncomfortable for your shoulders, bring the arms back to that T position, or even back to the position of Shavasana where the arms are a little bit lower. And pause here and notice how that feels through the shoulders. My right shoulder always feels a little bit tighter, a little uncomfortable. So I can stay here, but I'm just noticing that there's some sensation in the right shoulder. So again, I'm imagining you can just look in from that position of an observer. What are you noticing in your body? Take a deep breath in and out. Another breath in. Bring the breath down into the belly. And then as you exhale, begin to flatten the small of the back into the floor. And you could press through the feet a little bit. And then as you inhale, feel the weight rock from your lower back, your lumbar, onto the sacrum. So you're spilling more weight onto your sacrum and potentially towards your tailbone. Your lumbars rise up off the floor. And as you exhale, press into your feet, feel the weight rock from your tailbone across your sacrum into your lumbars. Going really slowly so you can feel that motion, massaging the tissues in the lumbar spine. There's tiny little muscles in between the vertebrae. And then, of course, we are utilizing our deep core muscles in the abdomen. Move in a way that feels good for your body. And then we'll begin to bring in the movement of the head. Before we emphasize that, can you notice how the head is moving with the activation of the pelvis? So can you sense that when you arch your low back up off the floor, the weight spills towards the sacrum and the tailbone? There's this feeling like we're pulling the tailbone towards the floor a little bit more. Imagine there was a string attached from your chin to your tailbone. So therefore the chin is also getting pulled down in the direction of the tailbone. And as you flatten the back, the tailbone tucks and lifts upward, and therefore the chin is going to lift upward. So we are working with that natural pulsation and energy of the body. Inhale, energy moves down, tailbone, chin down. Exhale, chin up, tuck the tailbone, energy moving up and out of the body, or the breath. Continue there. So tucking chin to chest, head stays down as you inhale. And exhale, flattening the back as the chin tips to the ceiling. Bring in this rocking movement that feels very soothing to the body. And then pause. We're going to add on with this one. We'll bring that movement back in, that spinal undulation one, but now we're going to isolate the arms first and we'll bring it all together. So right now, press the back of the arms to the floor and feel that as you drive the back of the shoulders to the floor, this is accentuating some of that external rotation of the arm bones. And now keeping the upper arm bone, the humerus bone on the floor, pick up the forearms and begin to rotate the hands to the floor. And flatten your back as you do this. You'll get more motion. And what happens is now is the chin is going to lift towards the sky. And then as you inhale, soften that, bring the arms back, arch the back, take the chin to the chest. As you exhale, rotate the upper arm bone, bring the palms to the floor, flatten the back, and tip the chin to the ceiling. Now look all the way above you, like you're trying to look to the very, in this room, the center of the room, or the space above your head. Inhale, arch the back, take the chin to the chest, and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Breathe in and out here, pause. Next, exhale, rotate, flatten the back. Feel how awkward this feels. And then inhale, chin to chest, squeeze the shoulder blades. So continue, go slow. Sometimes I like to feel like my hands are just kind of waving along. Sometimes it can feel nice to stretch through the fingers and spread the palmar fascia, reach out through the fingertips, creating space in the wrists and the hands. And then next time the arms come to the floor, pause. Arms in more of that neutral position, palms up to the sky, that goalpost position with fingertips pointing up towards the head, and then just rock the pelvis. Don't even have to bring in the head, simply rock on the pelvis. And then begin to let the knees sway to the left. Bring the knees back up, let the knees sway to the right. Stretch the arms out in a T position. We're going to go right into windshield wipers. Knees drop to the left, look to the right. Breathe in. Bring the knees back up, pause. You can have your feet hip width apart or a little wider. Might give you more sensation through the quads as well as the lumbar. Knees fall to the right, look to the left. Back up to center. So continue Head is rolling. Don't pick it up, just let it roll. And if you want to bring in more energy, more virya, more strength, you could flex the feet as the knees fall to one side. Feel as if you're pressing the pelvis forward and reaching out through the arms. And as you exhale, soften the hands, soften back to the center and pause. Go over that one more time. As the knees drop to one side, flex the feet. Imagine you're pushing through the edges of your feet. A top hip may lift more. Reach up through the arms, spread the fingers. Arms in a T position, and then exhale back to center and pause. Do that a couple more times. You can bring in more energy or not. You can make it softer. Some days I need a softer practice. Some days I need a little more energy. Some little wiggles can feel good in the head and the shoulders. Come back to center. So that can be a lot for the low back. And bring your knees in. Wrap your arms around the knees and simply give yourself a little squeeze, rocking left to right. And take your hands to your knees and let the knees go around in a circle, rotating in one direction and then the other. You're circling around your sacrum. As the knees tip to one side, you'll bring more weight into that upper tissue of the glutes. And then come back to rest in Shavasana. Give your legs a little wiggle, your hips a little wiggle, your upper body, etch a sketch. And then settle in, take 3 deep breaths. Notice anything that's shifted for you. Sensation in the body. Position of the body. And then bend the knees. Set the feet flat. Let's go into the Gomukhasana spiral. And we're going to bring in the arms with this one, but we're going to do one side and then the other. So let's cross the right leg over the left. So there's no space between the thighs. So not the figure 4 cross, but wrap that right leg all the way over the left. And then we're going to start with the legs. So the right leg is on top. That means the legs are going to twist to the right. So on the inhale, legs fall to the right. You're going to feel the weight roll over the glutes. And as you do this, take your left shoulder blade down to the floor and into the spine. Like that left arm is heavy. Don't let the left shoulder come up off the floor. And as you exhale, come back and let that left arm slide back to a comfortable position. So it's a little bit of a movement. Legs fall to the right, and just notice how that left arm wants to slide. Of course, the weight of the body falls to the right, so that left arm is going to want to come along. Left arm is heavy, and then come back to center. That one more time. You are in control, so if you don't want to move to your fullest range of motion, you could just go halfway. Could also find position that feels like it's bringing some pressure into the glutes that feels really good, and then come back to the center. Now we'll continue with that. We're going to bring our attention back to the left arm. Look at the left arm, and we're going to internally rotate the right arm and externally rotate the left arm. So the right arm is going to roll towards the floor. That thumb rotates in towards the floor. And the left arm is actually going to end up rotating away, like it's rotating up towards the head. And your elbow is most likely going to be up off the floor, especially as women, we have a bigger carrying angle. And then release that. So let's just do that rotation of the arms again. Stretch out through the fingers, twist the arms. And if you're trying to figure out which way, just twist the arms like you're wringing out a wash rag. One arm goes in one direction, one arm goes in the other direction, and then release. Pause. And we're going to bring the legs in. So legs fall to the right. Right arm rotates in towards the legs, left arm away. Look at the left hand, stretch through the fingers, and you can twist the fingers as well, like they're twisting like a conch shell, and then back to center. Pause. Do a few more. Twist. Oh. And then as you exhale this next one, what's it feel like to take the legs just in this gentle counter twist? Then the legs fall, the right shoulder might come up a little bit, and then come back to center. Uncross the legs. Be careful with that one, because if you tug a lot or it doesn't feel good in your SI joints, it can cause some instability there. So you want to be gentle with those. Now, left leg is on top, arms still out in that T position. Legs are going to fall to the left. Let's just do the legs a few times first. Then look towards the right arm. Back to center, right arm, right shoulder heavy. So if you feel like the right shoulder wants to lift up off the floor, squeeze the right shoulder blade into the spine. Try to keep the back of the right shoulder on the earth, on the floor. Coming back to pause, we'll go over the twist of the arms. So the legs are falling to the left eventually again. Left arm would rotate into the legs, right arm away. Left arm internal rotation, right arm external rotation. Come back to neutral, pause. Right arm external rotation, left arm internal rotation. Stretch through the fingers. You could spread the fingers out like little suction cups on the floor. I get a very nice release through the tissue on the top of the forearm as I do that with the internally rotated arm. And then bring in the twist. So notice where you feel it. Lean into it, hug. If it feels good for the body, if it feels like it's too much for the body, back off. Explore little movements, little variations in the arms and the fingers, and you're twisting. And then coming back. Cross the legs, let the knees come into the body so they're floating in towards the chest. Arms can stay out, and then just let the feet go back and forth like you're wagging your tail. Knees and feet together, feet stay together. If it helps, you can think about taking your feet to the right, then to the left. And just doing this little wag. And then wrap your arms around your body like you're giving yourself a hug. Take your hands to your shoulders. You can keep doing that with the legs, or you can set them down. And then set the feet down, take the feet a little bit wider, let the knees rest together, and then slide the hands down to your elbows and just let the forearms rest on the chest, on the ribs. Pause here. We're going to go into typewriter arms. Just take a couple breaths here. Legs are going to stay just like this. If it feels more comfortable to stretch the legs out, you can. The forearms are going to float up towards the sky. So you're still holding the elbows. The forearms are parallel to the floor. Upper arms perpendicular to the floor. This is going to be our resting position. So I come back to rest. This is the position. On the inhale, you're going to move the arms to the right. So the right upper arm bone, humerus bone, moves towards the floor. The left arm becomes straighter. And you can tug a little bit. You can take that right hand and tug on the left elbow. Left shoulder will come up off the floor. Kind of feels like your left shoulder is tucking under your chin. And then come back to center and pause. Take the arms to the left. Lean your head to the right. So it's like you're tucking your chin over the right shoulder. And then come back and pause. And that's the movement, back and forth. As the arms go to the right, look to the left. You can tuck your chin over the left shoulder, almost like you're trying to look under the shoulder blade. And then back to center, pause. Arms to the left, look to the right. Back to center. Now switch the crossing of the forearms and continue to a few more deep sighs. Keep the breath moving. It could feel good to pause at the top of the inhale in that stretch before releasing. We don't want to hold it for too long. And the next time the arms come up over the chest, slide the legs out, flex the feet, and then punch the elbows up to the sky. So you feel your shoulder blades lift up off the floor in protraction. And then reach the arms up overhead. You're gonna feel the shoulder blades come back to the floor. Flex the feet, press out through the feet, get long. And then punch through the right elbow, right heel. So you're bringing these little side bends, stretching the fascia under the armpits. Teres minor. If it doesn't feel good, you could keep the forearms up off the floor, or even release the arms in a V position and stretch through one foot, one hand. And then release the arms in a way that feels good for your shoulders. Come back, give the whole body a little shake. And just pick the forearm up off the floor and circle the wrists around. You could do this with open fingers. You could do this with a fist. Like you're knocking and then circle. Just moving the fingers, moving the hands. And then interlace the fingers and press the palms away. And then bend the elbows. So pressing and releasing. Pressing and releasing. To make it more intense, press your pointer fingers up towards the ceiling more. Intense doesn't mean better. Noticing what that feels like in your hands. Switch the crossing of your fingers. Do it a couple more times as you release and bring the palms together and squeeze one palm with the other hand. And then press. And then squeeze and press. Next time you press, pause, and then reach the hands up overhead, press through the heels, and you can do that little side bend movement again, like you're pressing through the right palm, right heel, left palm, left heel, and then releasing. Okay, here's another little etch-a-sketch move. As the arms come down by the sides of the body, you're gonna press to the very back of the skull. Keep the head at neutral so the chest lifts up. So back of the neck is working, and then kind of shake your shoulders like you're gently tapping the back of your shoulders to the floor, like you're doing a little chest shimmy. And then release. Yeah. And let go. We're going to go into the T-spine spiral next before we roll to the belly. So this one, we're going to bend the left knee. Arms are out in a T position. I'm going to look at the left hand and spread the fingers. So spread all the fingers, left hand, right hand. Stretch out through your middle finger and feel that length across the biceps, down through the inner forearm, the palm. And then begin to sweep the left arm, straight arm, up to the sky. Press through the back of the head as you do this. Turn the left knee to the left. Keep reaching until that left palm reaches past the right palm. Keep turning your left knee to the left. Left foot stays flat. And then sweep the left palm across the right palm and soften the fingers. This is really like a central movement, brushing the left hand across the inner right arm, the chest. Bring the left shoulder down first, then the left upper arm bone. And then let the left fingers curl in a little bit, almost like there's like a fiddlehead fern. And then bring the left forearm down and then unfurl the fingers and pause and release. Take a breath here. Stretch through the palms, spread the fingers, reach, energize that left arm, stretch, stretch, stretch to the ceiling. Keep reaching. Left palm might reach past the right. Stretching through the back of the body and then soften and sweep. So the fingers are soft, limp, loose, sweeping across the right arm, across the chest. But then as that left upper arm bone, humerus bone comes to the floor, let the left fingertips kind of curl in towards the wrist and unfurl the fingers. And then pause. So continue reaching. And the inhale, energizing virya, strength. And exhale, brushing, softening, sweeping. Clear out the energy lines of the arms. All the way out through the fingers. Left knee turning to the left. We want this rotation in the thoracic spine. That left hip will pop up. Don't try to micromanage your body too much. Move in a way that feels good. Let's do one more. You may feel that stretch through the left side of your neck as you reach. So reaching that left arm, so it's stretching and spreading all the tissue. Head, the neck may move more into extension. Pause. Next time you come to the back, arms in a T position, and swap the legs out. Look at the right hand, pause here. Spread the fingers. Stretch out through the arms. And then reach to that right arm as far as you can reach. And then pick the arm up off the floor and sweep it to the ceiling. Sweep it past the left hand. Turn the right knee to the right. And then brush that right palm along the inner forearm, across the chest. Let the gaze follow the hand, unfurling that right hand and resting. Soften. And then energize, stretch, reach. What's it feel like as you reach through the hand to think about reaching through different fingers? So the pinky finger side of the hand is the ulnar bone. So you could think about trying to lengthen out more through the pinky. side of the hand, or you could think about reaching more through the thumb side. It can feel good if you get a lot of compression through the thumb. So the hand will move in kind of different directions. You can be playful, you can be inquisitive here. Um, as you twist, turn the right knee to the right. Feel that rotation at the base of the rib cage. And one more so. And rest when you're ready. Lower the arms a bit lower than that T position. And then take your time to roll to your belly. You might want to wiggle to one side. And then see if you can roll over in a way where your head stays on the floor. So you got to kind of like weave that lower arm through your body and roll over, stacking the palms under the forehead. That's one option that feels uncomfortable in your shoulders or your neck or anywhere in your body. You could slide the arms out into that goalpost position and turn your head to one side. And then whenever you rest, you would just want to make sure you're turning the head to the other side or switching part way. So find a position that allows you to rest. And then on your inhale, tuck all 10 toes under and squeeze the legs. Keep your pubic bone on the floor. That's the front of your pelvis. Like you're pushing the front of your pelvis down into the floor as you press back through your heels and lift the knees up. And then as you exhale, push out through the toes, like you've got something on the ball, the toe balls, and push out and release. Then tuck your toes under, squeeze your legs. Can you squeeze your glutes? As you press the front of your pelvis down, but you lift your thighs and knees, and then push out through your toes to release. One more. And we're going to add in, so we'll do that full baby cobra. Tuck toes, squeeze legs, and then lift your head up. Your forearms might slide in a bit. Feel your shoulder blades move into the back of the body. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the legs, push the pelvis into the floor. Exhale, release. Moderate how much strength to the move. So a little hug of the glutes could feel good. Too much might not feel good. More isn't always better. Each move, you could play around with what it feels like. And if you feel compression in one low back, so sometimes my right QL area, low back, feels a little tight. So to bring in more space, I'm still squeezing my legs. I'm still lifting my chest, but I'm going to think about reaching a little bit more through my right heel. As you continue, your chest may lift more, your head may lift more, and your gaze may lift, perhaps eventually all the way up towards the ceiling. And then coming down to rest. If you had your arms in that goalpost position, make sure you turn your head to the other side. And wiggle your pelvis a little bit left to right. Rocking your hips. And then notice how it feels in your low back. If it feels tense, so say your left low back feels tense, slide that left knee up towards your hip. The other side, you could try the other side. And you could also just do one side for a little bit and then switch. You can turn your head to one side. So if the right knee slides up, look to the right and vice versa. So let's all meet with the left knee up. The inner left knee is on the floor, like kind of resembles like a tree position, but the foot's pretty far away from the right inner thigh. Look to the left. And then as you inhale, press through the forearms. If you're in that goalpost position, you can just press through the forearms and the hands to lift up and look back over the left shoulder. And then exhale to come down and rest. Palms can be stacked or either in that goalpost position. As you inhale, tuck the right toes under, squeeze the right leg, lift up, lift your knee, lift your chest, look over the left shoulder and come down. Pay attention to how that feels. Right? So don't just go through the movements. Sense the muscles working in the body. Lift less, don't lift at all. Just rest if the body needs that. And you can think about looking up and over, twist a little bit more. What's that feel like? Oh. This can feel really good on one side and not good on the other. So know that you can spend more time on one side. It's like when you're cooking and, it needs a little bit more salt, needs a little bit more pepper, needs a little bit more cumin. So maybe you need to spend a little bit more time on one side than the other. Switch sides when you're ready. So if the right knee is up, the left toes tuck to lift. Look over the shoulder. A little bit more time. Anytime if you feel like you need to release your back, you can bend your knees and let your feet sway side to side. But take a little bit more time on this side. My body's telling me to go back to the first side. Rest when you need to. Child's pose is definitely an option. This is a lot for the lumbar. Moving into extension. So when you're ready, you can push into your forearms, crawl the knees in, and rest in a child's pose. Variations in child's pose. So because we're moving into this as a counter pose, try to keep your thighs in a little bit closer. And the arms can be forward. We're doing a lot of shoulder work today. And oftentimes it feels best for me to take my elbows to the outsides of my knees and then tuck my fingers in between my knees. So the elbows kind of kick out. It's like the forearms in a straight line. Yep. And the hands tucked between the knees. We're gonna floss our shoulders next. So staying in this position, bring the hands out to the sides of your body. So the fingertips come to the floor and the forearms are perpendicular to the floor. And the elbows at a 90-degree angle. Now, ideally, we have the belly resting on something. So you could just show if you needed, you could straddle a bolster and rest your belly on it and be here so you can rest your chest. Okay? That would be an option. You can also do this just on the floor in like a cobra position, which I'll show at another point, but everyone I think is good here. So we're gonna draw the shoulder blades together and then you're gonna feel your right shoulder blade hug into the spine and your left shoulder dips to the floor. So if you had a bolster, that left shoulder would nudge the bolster and then look under the right armpit and then come back to neutral. Head is just floating in line with the spine. You can even do some little neck circles and then take the left shoulder blade into the spine, take the right shoulder towards the floor, and then come back to center. The bolster will limit your movement a little bit, but for those that need support. Okay, so continuing, right shoulder blade hugs in, left shoulder blade to the floor, and allow your torso to side bend a little bit so you're looking under the right armpit, and vice versa. Pause in the center, and then switch. Generally, with somatic movement, we inhale into the move to bring space, breathe under the shoulder blades, and exhale to come back to neutral. Continue, and then eventually, as you look under that right armpit, we're going to sweep the left arm out at a diagonal. You can slide the right hand back a little bit, spread the fingers, and pause here for a stretch. And then slide that left arm back to the outside of the left knee, bending the elbow. Sweep the right arm over to the left. Spread the fingers on the right hand. Gently press through the left palm. Side bend to the left, little twist. Reach out through the pinky finger side of the arm. Imagine a string from pinky finger to right hip. And then slide back to center. If possible, press into the hands and come to sit in Virasana. If it's not possible, put your hips up on a cushion and stack one hand on top of the other and pause here. And then we're going to bring the hands down and we're going to do finger push-ups. So we're simply going to have our palms flat and then come up to fingertips and then bring them down. And this is something that seems to be really easy, but if you watch people who do handstand training, they say do like 100 of these to strengthen the wrists. So the wrist goes from this position of extension to neutral and weight bearing, and then you roll down on the fingers. Up on fingertips and then roll down, up on fingertips and then roll down. So eventually you go up and down with both hands at the same time. And you want weight in the hands so the fingers are working. So I could lean back a little bit and bring my weight towards my heels to practice, and then eventually bringing the weight forward onto the hands. You're going to feel the belly of your forearm working. You guys feel that? Do 108 of these. Woo. If you can, first step is one at a time, and you could stay right there. And you're pushing, like you're trying to weight them, right? If I'm bringing all my weight into my right hand and then just tapping my fingertips, it's doing nothing. I'm getting mobility, but I'm not getting any strength, right? If I shift my weight back a little bit towards my heels, yep, and try to do with straight fingers. Yep, and go slow. And then pause. How we doing? Like 108. Yeah, you feel it? Does it feel okay in your wrist?
Yeah, it does feel good stretching it.
Stretching, strengthening?
Yeah.
Great. Is what?
It's
Ice. And then come out and give your hands a shake. And then imagine you're flicking water off your fingers. Flick, 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 flick. This is a common thing in Thai and Chinese medicine is to like release the energy. So you can even take your fingers, like your, you got your two fingers together like this, and then take your thumbnail, make a little snap. Pull, snap. Yeah. And then brush. And you can see, like, why does it look like Erin's a battered woman? That is from getting traditional gua sha, which breaks up adhesions, and it's intense. Good, releasing here. So we'll go into some gentle stretching. Don't move into pain. Fingertips turning back towards your knees. I like to turn my fingers out a little bit. That's easier. And then begin to turn my fingers back more, rocking in and then back a little bit. So you can have your toes tucked under so that you can come back. It's kind of like those hand push-ups. We're coming down flat and then bringing the palms up. I don't like to do too many of these. Turn the fingers out, rock left to right, turn the fingers forward. Be gentle. And then make fists. This is really important. You want a tight fist, like you've got a ladybug in there. You don't want to let her out. You got tight fists. You're going to fist bump yourself, right? Then you're going to bring the back of your hands to the floor. Then lift your elbows up and try to straighten your arms without releasing your fingers. And then bend. And then stretch. Now, what does it feel like if you bring a little bit more weight to the pinky side of the back of your hand? And then bend. What's it feel like if you bring more weight to the pointer finger? Yeah, you guys feeling that? So you're just bending and straightening, finding some different movements. With somatic movement practice, we always want to be moving and pulsing, at least in the beginning before we hold the stretch. You're what? You're not. You're releasing your hands. So like this, not like this, like this. Yeah, now do it. Yeah. Yeah, you're kind of holding, I mean, that's working to stabilize you. Yeah. Make a tight fist. Yep, there you go. Yeah, if it feels like it's too much, you could tuck your toes under, Victoria. That might help you a little bit. Yeah, you will. You'll feel your hamstrings kind of working to keep you there. You could probably do this against a wall too. If you couldn't do that, totally. Yeah, that feels great. If it feels uncomfortable to be in that squatting position, back of the hands to the wall. But it is essential that you keep a tight fist. So go ahead and release. So if you like are knocking, when the wrist moves into flexion, the flexors engage. Okay, so the extensors are being stretched. When you move the hand back, like you're doing handstands, the extensors are working. Yep. And I have found that I was getting pain here down at the that radial side of the elbow, but it was actually when I would go get body work, I would be like, "Can you work the forearms?" And no one was just really getting deep enough. That's when I would see Byron, and he was like, "Rah." He was like, "No one lets me work this hard. Like I can't work this hard anyway." But this tissue actually felt fine to him, but the back of my forearms were bound up with lots of adhesions. So that one can really help if you're feeling pain. If I do more of this, it wasn't going to help because I do a lot of this already in body work. So where we feel pain isn't oftentimes the theory behind somatic movement is that we want to stretch it more. We actually want to create cohesiveness. We want to lean into where there's pain. And then what happened, I didn't have pain here, but I could tell, I could sense that like that really wanted work. So squeeze your fingers together. You can just sit any way that's comfortable. Finger lock, Chinese finger lock. Squeeze your fingers together. Take a breath in here. Exhale, press away, round the spine. Option, keep the fingers bound as you inhale or release the hands and stretch. That's too much for my wrist, so I often need to release the hands. Reach up in a V, and then if the hands are bound, exhale to release them and pause. Inhale, bring the hands together, squeeze. Try to pull your hands away with straight wrists. You're creating traction. Another breath here. With your exhale, press and round. Inhale, reach up about halfway. You can release or continue to hold if that feels okay in your shoulders. And then exhale. One more. Find space, lift through the sides of the waist, and then round. Reach. And come down. Sitting with your, let's go left shin in front first, and flexing the feet so the shins are ideally parallel to the top of your mat. And if you brush the soles of your feet, you're actually brushing the outside of your thighs at the same time. So if you were to bring your knees in, bring your knees up and kind of hug the shins into each other and let the knees fall out. And then flex the feet. Left shin is in front. Yeah, you were right before. Take your feet out wide. Left shin is in front, so the left fingertips will come behind you. Right hand is going to come to the left knee. Lengthen. And then exhale, gentle twist. Now we're going to move here. Inhale. As you exhale, come out of it. Let your left shoulder come forward and round your head. Pull your belly in. Think about turning almost to your right. And then inhale, lift, twist. You could exhale here. And then come out of it. Breathe. Unfurl with the inhale. Exhale. And turn back in. Let your head move. Pause. Play with this movement. Last one will hold. As the torso moves to the left, however, look to the right. Look over the right shoulder. Keep turning your torso to the left. And then look back to the left. And unwind all together and do a few cat-cows, rocking back and lifting and leaning forward. Feel your shoulder blades moving. Switch. Right shin in front. Left hand to right knee, right fingertips behind you. And just notice what it feels like, that first one in your body. Like my body's like, no, thank you. It's kind of hard to twist. Exhale, come forward, round. Draw your belly in, like doing a crunch. And think about almost turning to your left. And then inhale. Exhale to pause. Look over your right shoulder. Curl your right shoulder back into the spine. Exhale, let that right shoulder come forward. Look in towards your navel. Inhale, open up. Exhale, pause in the movement. Feel the muscles between the shoulder blades working. Exhale, come out. In the back hand, I even release it to my palm coming up. So here's my resting position. And then inhale. Last one here. Holding, twisting, torso twisting right. Curl that right shoulder blade back and look to the left. Look back to the right and come out of it. Your choice and how you want your legs to stay in this cross-legged position. As you reach forward, you could extend your legs. I haven't done much with the hamstrings, so I would recommend, if you want to extend your legs, to give yourself a hug, forearms under your knees so that your belly can rest, and drop your head. If your head is not rested on something, bend your knees more to rest your head on your knees, or stack the palms, or make fists to rest the forehead. Keep the feet flexed if you're in that sukhasana, that cross-leg position. It'll get into your hips. Inhale to come up, lengthen. If you had your legs crossed, cross your legs the other way. Let's all sit up tall and then come back into your second forward bend. So just coming back forward with straight legs, or if you're in that sukhasana position, you switched position of your legs. Exhale. Inhale to come up and out of it. Stretch the legs out. And then we're going to do a sun salutation. So take your time. Come back over to hands and knees. You can straddle your mat. Find about the middle. Fold it up so the ends are together. And set her to the side. So come to about, I'm going to turn this way, about a foot or so from the top of your mat. And let's start with our snow angel arms. So as you exhale, let the arms release down by the sides of your body. You're totally relaxed. Notice that the arms naturally want to roll in. Relax your arms. Yeah. Notice that we want to, especially as yogis, we're like, here I am, attention. So drop your arms, feel the arms really heavy. They're just hanging. And then begin to energize. Turn the palms out. Sweep the arms up. Extending. You could look up. You could squeeze the glutes and legs. Think baby cobra. And then exhale, let the arms come down. We're just doing snow angel arms. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Look up, energize. Exhale, arms down. Find a rotation in your arms where there is no clicking or less clicking in your shoulder joints. So what's it feel like? Even if you're like, that feels clicky, what if I bring my arms up with the palms down? What if I draw the shoulder blades in a little bit? Oh, it took away that clicking. So instead of doing what we think we should be doing, can you move in a way that really feels best for your body? Now we'll move into that forward fold and sun salutation. Reaching up, extending, and then exhale, bow forward, bend your knees, release your head. Weaving in here, typewriter arms, hold the elbows, belly stays on the thighs, take the arms to the right, look over the left shoulder, dangle, belly stays on the thighs the whole time, arms left, look over the right shoulder. And then just any way that feels good. Oh. And then bring the hands to the floor. Step back, plank position. Come down to your knees, but don't let the feet move. So balls of the feet stay right where they are. And then squeeze your shoulder blades together and then puff up through your shoulder blades. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and then puff up through your shoulder blades. With your breath, let's exhale to draw the shoulder blades together and inhale to puff up. Can you isolate the movement just between your shoulder blades? And then pause, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and now begin to bend the elbows as you lower down, coming to the floor. Point the toes, inhale, squeeze your shoulder blades together, squeeze the glutes, lift the chest. If you want to come up further, you can. Exhale all the way down, tuck your toes, press up and back, downward facing dog. First, only, the one and only downward dog of the morning. Playfulness here. Walk it out. Pelvis can move, knees can bend. You can pulse forward and back like you're coming into plank position. You could bring a knee up and into your chest. It's all about mobility. We don't really focus too much on stretching. Pay attention to your hands. What's it feel like to grab the edges of your mat and tuck your fingers underneath in downward dog? If you're going forward and back, move slow. Move slowly. Feel everything moving as you come forward. So we still move slow. And then eventually make your way, hands and feet together in a forward bend. So walk your hands towards your feet or your feet towards your hands. And then bend your knees and walk your fingertips forward. So your weight is still on your heels, but your fingers are forward and your head drops. It's like a hybrid forward bend, downward dog. And then begin to extend your right leg. Breathe here. So your right leg is straight, your left ribs are on the left thigh, and then switch. Stretch the left leg straight, right thigh is on the right ribs. And then stretch the right leg straight, grab your right ankle, hold your right ankle with your left hand and twist and look under your right armpit. Your left knee is bent. Your left ribs are on the left knee. Your right leg is straight and you're twisting to the right. And then switch, left hand forward. Right hand holds the left ankle. Right knee is bent. Left leg is straight. And you're twisting. And come back to center. And then take your time, ground through the heels, and slowly come up vertebrae by vertebrae, stacking your spine until you come all the way up. Just stand, sweeping the arms up, stretching through the fingers. And then exhale, hands down to heart center. And take your time to find your way back on your back. So do anything that feels good to your body. Moving a little bit more. You can go through another sun salutation, but just find your way to your back for final resting. Get cozy, put your socks on, grab your blankie, put a bolster under your thighs. You could roll up your blanket. If you don't have a bolster, just roll up your blanket and put it under your thigh bones. It feels a little better than the back of the knee. The back of the knee can sometimes cut off, circulation. You can roll back on the bolster. Love it. Take care of yourself. Do what feels good for your body. You get to a position and you're like, I could be more comfortable, then just make yourself more comfortable. And what's it feel like? You can take it or leave it. So just bring your head up just slightly. And it feel better for your head, you can bring it down a little bit. It feel better for your neck. So when we end up in like this, and the head sometimes ends up a little bit in extension, so we just lift it up slightly. Keep it more neutral. Take some deep breaths in and out here. We've done a lot of Shavasana today. I loved after we chanted this last weekend at the retreat, we did a lot of Shavasana, a lot of checking in. We laid down after a couple hours, hour and a half or so chanting, and Victoria goes, yay, more Shavasana. So like hopefully over time your body feels that. We're often doing, like we want to get in more, pushing, achieving strength, burn calories, but the nervous system and the body really thrives on conscious rest. And so learning to be present in Shavasana and learning to enjoy it, it isn't always the easiest to just lay there and do nothing. So if you're learning to rest, that's okay. Just recognize that you're learning to rest and be here. Before we sit up, bring your attention to the upper back and the shoulders. And notice the state. What does it feel like in the shoulders? Any areas of the body that seem to draw your attention at the beginning of class during our check-in? What does it feel like now? Scanning the body, scanning the somic field. And begin to move your hands. You can swirl your wrists like we did before. You can press and stretch. Ah. And then rolling over to one side. Mm. Mhm. Before slowly coming on up, just sit. And if you have a cushion nearby that you started on, or even your folded up blanket can work. Oh, thanks for suggesting upper back and shoulders and hands today. I always need that. Rub our hands together and think about like rub everything. So in Ayurveda, self-massage, they say sweep your long bones and circle your joints. So you can do circles around your wrists. As we sweep our hands together, we're following the metacarpals and the phalanges. You can even sweep along the back of the hand. And then allow yourself to just sweep and rub anything that feels good. A circle on the low back. Just, yeah, just get real sensual and loving. Then you can rub your face and brush your head, and then lastly, rub your palms together and then put your hands anywhere that you feel like you want a little bit more warmth, love. You could do one hand on heart, one hand on belly, two hands on heart. You could cover your eyes. You could rest your hands on your head. You've got a headache, bringing the fingertips to the skull and the heel of the hand to the temples or the neck. And then letting the palms come back together as we bow the head to the hand. And then opening the eyes and releasing the hands.